This will be a short demonstration of the 3 different remote desktop connection methods that I've evaluated and choose from according to the needs at the time. The first is remote desktop, or RDP, by built-in Microsoft, and per Scott's suggestion, going to the display, I will say go ahead, use all my monitors for remote session, but to be fair and honest, the machine that you're looking at is a 1920 by 1080 full-size HDMI display, and I am sitting in my family room at the moment, and the machine that I will be connecting to is in the shack. It has 3 1920 by 1080 monitors on it. So I've said go ahead use all my monitors for a remote session, but there's only one monitor here, so I suppose that if I had 3 monitors here and 3 monitors there, that might work. So I'm going to connect now to the remote machine. It wants my password. I give it the password. I'm on the safe side of my router. All of these connections are that way, so no port forwarding or anything like that going on here. And I can see that what has happened here is Microsoft has decided that what I had on screen 3 should be moved to screen 1. And it says here this is screen number 1 with the taskbar. And indeed you see a taskbar. If I move the mouse to the left, nothing happens. If I move the mouse to the right, nothing happens. And I cannot find any controls here that allow me to switch between the physical screens. There's no way to say that this display is a logical screen and how do I scroll between them. It might be here. I just haven't found it yet. I did say that I had Snip and Sketch running, and it does show that Snip and Sketch is running, but it is on the second display. Let's see if it brought it here to this screen as well. Yes, it did. I had this on monitor 2, so what Microsoft has done is in fact, it closed it. I don't know. I did not just click anything to close it, so for some reason it has decided to close that application, which screws up this demonstration slightly. But if I move the mouse to the far right, nothing happens. That's it. I'm stuck with a single screen here. It has moved all of my icons and applications to the one screen because that's what the terminal services client is reporting. It says I've only got one screen, so the terminal server, which is the shack machine, has said put everything onto that one screen. Perhaps this will restore itself. Now, as I close this session, which I'm about to do, I will comment that if I was in the shack right now, I would be seeing a login screen, meaning that if this was a multi-op situation, the other operators would not see anything but a Windows login screen, and if someone actually logged in, it would disconnect this particular user. It's a one user only situation. So clicking in there now, notice it says my remote session will be disconnected. Great. I'm now back on my main machine. This is telling me OBS is recording. And my second connection will be a TeamViewer connection. And I'm connecting to the remote machine. It wants my password, so bear with me while I type it in. And now you'll see that indeed Microsoft's RDP has left me in a position where the remote user has logged off, so now I must log on to a Windows logon. And it doesn't like my password, but I'm pretty sure I typed it right. And now waiting for the remote machine to come up, and indeed it is showing me that I am running a team viewer session with another machine called Dave's 7050, which is the name of the machine that I'm recording on. And here is my view. Usually When I came here, it said there's a pop-up or one of those tooltip jobbies that says you're using multiple monitors. When I did the preview of this, it did that. I'm going to make this now the full size. So if I go to the far left side of the screen, nothing happens. If I go to the far right side of the screen, nothing happens. But because I have multiple monitors, if I click this is monitor number 2. And like I said, the other program had brought all my icons to the one screen. Here's some icons. And here's the third window. If I go now to Windows and look at display settings, those shall come up on the first screen. So here they are, and it says here's your 3 screens, and here's the mapping of them. And if I do this in, I should have done it in the RDP session. If I do this in the RDP session, this screen says, sorry, you can't do anything. And it only shows a single screen. It doesn't even show a single screen. It says this function doesn't work at all using RDP. So you have no control over your resolution. Using TeamViewer, you do have some level of ability to manipulate between the 3 screens, and you could actually change the resolutions on the fly, and TeamViewer would be more than happy to work with that. So let's log out of TeamViewer, and when you quit TeamViewer or TeamViewer session, it brings up a thanks for using the free version of TeamViewer. So if with any luck, when we use the next one, we should see that message on the screen because we won't have to log in. Indeed, both people, if somebody was sitting at the TeamViewer screen, he would be seeing what I'm doing. Oh, closing that one, this is what I'm expecting to see at the other machine. Just going to minimize this. And now I'm going to the third one, which is a VNC viewer. This is the address and port number that my other machine, the Shack machine, is currently using. And I connect to it. I normally use an auto hotkey script to do this. Just for my... Oh, there we go. Here's my TeamViewer session. And now I'm just going to say OK. Up here on the top, I have a toolbar. This is a toolbar that's being provided by the VNC viewer, which is telling me I'm connected to Dave's VNC machine. It's showing both addresses that this machine has. One is the local address and the other is its Hamachi address. And it's letting me know that this server is being run as a service, a Windows service, as opposed to being run as an application. So you can run the VNC server not in service mode, but as in application mode. And using these icons here, the first thing I'm going to do is say, give me the full size screen. And I'm going to click this one here that says select full desktop, switch monitor drivers only. When I click it, the screen blanks for a second. And notice now that as I move to the mouse to the right side or the right wall of the screen, I have smooth, I'm not going to call it smooth scrolling. I will get smoother scrolling in a second, but I can now split the screens and navigate myself around a virtual desktop that is 3 monitors wide. If I was to say identify and move quickly here, there's monitor 3, 2, and 1, just like it says in the screens. Could play with that on the fly, and this guy here is going to say, okay, let me actually see full screen. So now I am full size screen on monitor number 1 or 2 or 3. So when we're operating a contest, the essential programs go into monitor number 1, and then perhaps Slack goes here, and then perhaps the scoreboard goes over here, or other things. The more often we use it, the closer we put it to the main screen. But that's what I was trying to describe as you can do in VNC and not do in RDP or in TeamViewer. TeamViewer kind of got there. And I tried several VNC packages. Not all of them, a lot of them take the team viewer approach, switch screens from one screen to another. But this particular VNC package called Ultra VNC did allow me to do what I was hoping to find, which was scroll smoothly from one to another. Anyway, that's about it. K2XR signing clear.